Hey everyone, if you're wondering how to apply the new Bona Chroma waterborne wood floor coloration system, you came to the right spot. So let's take a quick look at the process and techniques you might use to successfully apply this incredible new product. Of course, if you need more details and explanation, make sure to check out our full-length version of the Bona Chroma application video. To apply Chroma, begin by cutting in your starting section, being sure to feather out all cut-in strokes with the grain. Next, saturate your roller and apply Chroma to the section field, re-rolling the cut-in areas as well to ensure even coverage throughout. Your application rate should resemble a light coat of paint with the grain barely visible. Feather out all roller end strokes, especially at the ends of each section, to avoid hard lines and lap marks in the field. Finish your rolling process with cross grain strokes to ensure an even application throughout the grain pattern. Next, buff the section with a 1-inch white pad on a 175 RPM buffer, slowly creating a wet swirl pattern to distribute the coloration evenly. Then, rebuff at a faster speed until the color is even and the wet swirls have disappeared. Remove and blend in any remaining coloration next to the walls or other detail areas by hand. Typically on the starting section, and anytime we expose a fresh side of the white pad, we will skip the removal of excess chroma on the section and move directly to buffing with the white pad. This allows us to get some workable product loaded into the white pad and avoids pulling too much coloration out of the new pad section. On the next section, repeat the cutting in process if needed, feathering out all cut-in strokes and scrubbing any overlap areas with the cut-in pad to dissolve hard lines. Repeat the rolling and saturation of the field, re-rolling the cut-in and lapped areas, scrubbing sideways with the roller as needed to dissolve hard lines. Add more coloration as you go to ensure appropriate coverage, and finish out by rolling the section cross-grain. Next, to make final blending and removal easier, use a terry cloth towel under your Bona mop to remove approximately 30 to 70% of the excess coloration in the section. Utilizing a sideways motion with the mop to keep it from grabbing and flipping, and feathering at the ends to create narrow feather lines. Now, buff the section with the 1-inch white pad, focusing first on blending any overlap areas. Slowly create a wet swirl pattern to evenly distribute the remaining chroma throughout the section. Then, rebuff at a faster speed until the color is even and the wet swirls have disappeared. Remove and blend in any remaining coloration next to the walls or other detail areas by hand. You can continue to work the floor section by section. On subsequent runs, make sure you overlap prior runs as well as previous section ends. Scrub lap marks where needed, roll out and feather the field to saturate with coloration, ending cross grain. Partially remove excess material from each section with a Bona mop and terry cloth towel before buffing out any remaining chroma with a white pad and buffer. Focus first on buffing lapped areas until even. Then continue distributing the color on the first buffing pass, achieving wet swirls. Then faster on subsequent passes to remove any remaining wet swirls. Remove and blend in any remaining coloration next to the walls or other detail areas by hand. When possible, work sections wall to wall to avoid the possibility of lap marks in the middle of the floor. Work a narrower segment down the floor by first cutting in and feathering the starting end wall, then rolling out the field. Again, re-rolling over your cut-in area, overlapping any previous runs, and ending cross grain with the roller. As you continue to roll out the section, one person may want to start removing and feathering out the excess near the starting wall. And as you roll out the last part of the field, cut in, feather, and re-roll the opposite end wall when it's reached. Working as a team, one person can continue to remove the excess down the wall-to-wall section, while the other starts the buffing in and off process with the white pad. The buffing technique is identical to when working sections, working any overlap areas first, Then buffing the main field to spread the color and create your wet swirl pattern. Then slower to do a final blend until the wet swirls disappear. Finally, hand blend and remove any excess product near the walls, in overlap areas, and in detail areas where the buffer can't reach. Repeat on the next wall-to-wall section. So there you have it, a quick look at how you can successfully apply the new Bona Chroma waterborne wood floor coloration system by working in sections or by working wall to wall. On a lot of jobs, you're going to find that using both techniques is the best way to go. But either way, Bona Chroma is a game changer. So get some Chroma for your next job and change your game.